Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, we got a little bit of snow. Not much, just a little dusting. Kinda wasn't expecting it. At first they said that we were gonna get snow, and then they backed off and said it might just be a little ice glazing. And we did get that yesterday evening. Then they took the snow out of the forecast and then woke up with this. It's nothing to shake a stick at. It's just a dusting, but it's really cold. I woke up this morning and it was 12 degrees, and I think the wind chill was like -5. It's around 16 or 17 right now, but the wind's died down, so it's not too bad. And as long as I got some of my go-go juice, then I'm fine. Expedition Joe Coffee. You guys should check it out. It's really good stuff, and they're one of us. They're like-minded, patriot, God-fearing people that run it, the real kind of people. There's a link down in the description if you're interested. And it's really good stuff. It's very, very tasty. Anyways, just kind of processing thoughts and stuff this morning earlier as I was having my first cup of this. And of course, it's the new year. I forgot to mention that the other day. Happy New Year to everyone. And we've talked about what is this year going to hold for us? You know, is it really going to be worse? Are they really going to try to clamp down on stuff? You know, I mean, is this new variant going to just shut the economy down? I mean, there's still some crazy, weird stuff coming out of other countries involving this. You know, I mean, they're beating people in the streets and sending attack dogs and on people that are protesting mandate stuff. And then, you know, New York, I think I showed the other day on a video. I mean, they were arresting a mother and her child because the child didn't have the little passporty thing saying that he could go out in public. And it's only going to get worse there. You know, they got a new mayor, I guess, now in New York City, and he's just going to be probably worse than the first one, it looks like. This is spreading, but, you know, it seems like the thing that's really spreading, and it's been kind of trending online the last 48 hours or so, is mass psychosis. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about and who said it, and I'm not going to go into that because all the internet authorities seem to like to ban anyone that's talking about that person and how that all happened. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's just more censorship is all it is. But you should look into the whole idea of like mass psychosis. I think that's what's going on. I had been reading about that for the last 6 months. There's some good videos on YouTube explaining it, of how an entire population, or at least a majority of a population, can go through a type of psychosis all at the same time together because of events that are happening. This is pretty much what happened in Nazi Germany during the 30s and led into the 40s. And if you look at the pattern of that, I'd say it's a pretty good assessment that the United States and a lot of the rest of the world is going through this right now, that same thing. And it could end very badly. I mean, we all know the history of what happened in Germany and how bad that ended. And think about that on a grander scale, where you have multiple nations going down that path of that some people are just less human than other people because they don't fit the descriptions or the I don't know even what to call it, but the rules that have been laid out. And so those people that are less human, well, they get treated a very different way. And we've seen how history treats people that have been classified in that way. And if we keep going down this path, I could see a lot of Americans that have chosen, you know, not to listen, to be demonized even further. I mean, they already are. There was a video the other day, some woman on an airplane attacked an older man because, he wasn't wearing a face diaper while he was eating on the plane. She got up and attacked him. We're seeing this more and more. I mean, people are becoming just psychotically violent. And I think we're going to see that more. I've talked about this before. I think a lot of this is just a product of the public education system, the entertainment system, the pharmaceutical systems over the last 2 or 3 generations, kind of leading up to this point where we have a very gullible and malleable population. They don't think they're able to be manipulated. They don't have any rational, thinking skills, no common sense, and they just believe what they're told. And it's definitely this herd cattle mentality, where they just stampede for no reason, and they don't care about the consequences. They don't think enough off into the future as to what direction that they're going when they stampede and where they're going to end up. They don't care, and I think we're seeing that happen. Where are we at in that? Are we in the middle, in the beginning? I don't think we're towards the end. I think we're somewhere, I don't know, if I used my math skills, I'd say maybe 1/3 of the way in is what I would guess. And that's just total hillbilly guessing. I think a lot of us are probably thinking similar along the lines of what I'm saying right now. You may not exactly agree, but a lot of you, I think, kind of have the same assessment. The question is where is this all going to end up? How is this going to end for us? Many of you, like myself, are followers of the book, the Most High, and we kind of know how it's going to end in that sense, but we don't know where we fit in that. At what point are we? And everyone has different ideas and different, theories on that. But the reality is that we're here now, and we've gone through a lot, and I think there's a whole lot left to go through. And we kind of want to know what to expect, how to prepare for that. How do we prepare for being a subset of society that is looked down upon, that is not just looked down upon? Because if that's all it was, most of us wouldn't care. Most of people that would watch this channel and stuff, we're okay with kind of being isolated, or we're okay with being singled out as some radical. We already are by our political beliefs over the years, our religious beliefs over the years. So we've already dealt with not being part of the in crowd, right? But what we're talking about is much further down the road than that. We're talking about not being allowed access to just basic living, the things that we need to live by, not having access to, maybe food or medical treatment or housing or even money or work or education. There's a lot of possibilities. You keep going down this road, there's a lot of ways that this could end up. It could end up all the way to the point to where people are being rounded up. People are being, forced relocations, forced quarantines, forced camps, even all the way to, the ending of life. And I know that's very extreme. And a lot of you are like, things are bad, but I don't know if we're going to go down that road that far. That's pretty extreme. It is. It's real extreme. But we don't know what the future holds. Think of what's happened the last 2 years or so. Just go back 24 months from now. Lots changed. If it progresses at this rate, what's it going to be in 2 years, 4 years, 6 years? With, new technology and, more leadership that will very possibly take us down this same path. And as just everything worsens, and the minds of the population become more and more just, they've crossed the line. I think that's what happens, that eventually some of these people that have bought into this, they might think, that maybe this is a little too extreme. Maybe we've gone too far. But they know that they've gone so far that they can't turn back. So they just, play it out because they don't want to be singled out and told that they're like us, because now they're not complying. Maybe they complied for the first 2 or 3 years of the first few rounds. And then they say, oh, well, now you're not complying now, so you're just as bad as the people that never did comply. So that's what keeps everyone in line, because they know how dangerous that monster is. So the possibility of this going down an extremely dark path in history, it's possible. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm saying it's very possible, folks. And it should be something that is very worrisome, much more worrisome than what's really going on right now. And I think that's what a lot of you are at, in the same place that I am. It's not so much that what's happening right now. I mean, if the way things are right now stayed exactly this way, it may not be fun and great, but most of you could handle it. Most of you can adjust your lifestyle to work around it. If you're told that you can't ever fly in an airplane again, okay, well, I'll work around that. Most people. That's not really the fear that we have. That's not really what's worrying us. What's worrying us is that we're headed down a path that is very, very dark. And there are a few times in history that we have gone down this same path. Humanity has. And it has never, ever, ever ended up good. There's never, ever been any good that come out of it. And I think a lot of us think that we have evolved in some way, that we have gotten past those dark ages of human history, that we would never, ever again do that because we're much more of a enlightened species now. I think that's baloney. I think that you could make a pretty good case that we're actually going backwards when it comes to that enlightenment, or that, psychological evolution, or whatever. I don't know what the right word would even be. I think probably technology is doing that to a lot of people. And so the odds of us going down that path are, I think, ever increasing. And I think that's one of the reasons why that's one of the main reasons why we live the way we do. Is it convenient and comfortable all the time? Absolutely not. When you got to get up in this kind of weather, go out at 6 in the morning at 12 degrees and -5 wind chill, and feed animals and bust ice and, check everything. And I got up in the middle of the night and, had to fill the fireplace and all, that kind of stuff. Is it easier? Not a bit. But if it's setting myself up, my family up, for at least the possibility of a little bit longer and better survival because of this path that we're on, then it's well worth it. I think that's why we prepare. It's not a guarantee. It doesn't mean that life's going to be, sugar and spice and roses and everything else. It's just going to mean that it increases our odds of survival a little bit better. Because when you kind of step back and you see all that's going on, instead of just looking at one news article or one particular event, or one particular internet post or whatever, and you think, oh, that's horrible, that's awful that they're doing, oh, that's crazy, why are they trying to do that? But when you step back and you look at everything that's going on in the world right now as a whole, between the politics, between all the different institutions and supplies and everything, infrastructure that's kind of going down. If you step back and you see, just the mentality of the population as a whole, and then you look at all these other events going on, natural events, stuff with the sun and the poles and all that kind of stuff, it kind of starts to all tie in together. You start to see a bigger picture, and you start to see kind of where we might be headed. And it could, I mean, I consider myself a pretty tough guy, and it's a little scary. But we can't allow fear to control us. We can't allow fear to just consume us. We have to have keep our faith, our wits, and to keep preparing. And that's what we push. That's what we work for. And if you do those things, there's no guarantee that you're gonna come out on the end just smelling like a rose. But we know, as long as our hearts are in the right place with the Father, that we know where we're going to end up in the end anyways. And the time between now and that day, we're just trying to eke out a more probable survival level, because we don't want our last days to be, giving up what little bit of freedom we have left, and losing our own sovereignty as an individual. I don't think where we're headed is a good place. I don't know if it's as bad as what happened in Germany. I don't know if it's going to be worse. I just don't think we're headed in a good place. There's too many things going on, too many little signs, little indicators. It's kind of like watching the stock market, right? There's too many little indicators that this is way bigger than just a little health crisis going on. It's way bigger than just a financial hiccup, going on. It's way bigger than just some growing pains of society as we have more technology and expand our minds more. It's way bigger than all that. I think we're headed down a pretty scary, dark little path for a while, and it may be the last path that we ever go down as a species. But the fact is we're setting ourselves up for that. And so continue to get ready. Get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and most especially spiritually, folks. Because there's not a lot of good that looks like that could come of all this, at least in my opinion. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching over the past year, 2, 3 years. Thank you for subscribing. The channel's growing. You folks are amazing. You're awesome. And I know I'm backed up on emails again, but I'm going to work on it. I haven't felt good for the last few weeks. I'm starting to get a little bit better, so I have a little bit more energy to put into that. And hope you all have a blessed new year, and just keep your powder dry. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.